All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our bookkeeping lunch and learn. My name is Lisa Card, and I'm a business analyst for the SBDC, an economic developer and trainer. I've been doing this for the last 11 years. I've been a business owner myself, and I love what I do, helping small businesses grow and prosper. Today we have Sue Oliver. She just introduced herself, but I'm really excited to work with her. She's our center director, and she has over 20 years assisting small businesses and accelerating their businesses. Sue is going to be fielding questions today, also taking attendance. So please feel free to message her if you have any questions. And then if your name is populating as a phone number, just go ahead and private chat her your name so that she can take attendance. All right, let's move on. So we are part of a national network of over 1,000 SBDCs in the country. Pima Community College SBDC is a cooperative program between Pima Community College and the U.S. Small Business Administration. The Arizona Small Business Development Network provides high quality, high impact, one-on-one business counseling and has 10 SBDC service centers and 6 procurement technical assistance centers known as PTAC around the state. We really are Arizona's go-to resource to start, grow, and transition a business. So who we serve? Well, we serve for-profit, independently owned businesses in Pima County and Santa Cruz counties. As you can see on this slide, we serve small businesses with 500 or fewer employees and really at any growth stage. I really find this slide interesting because you can look at the average annual receipts of what is considered a small business to the SBA, and it breaks out in different industries. So general and heavy construction, their average annual receipts can hit about 39.5 million. And then if you go and look at the retail, up to 8 million for retail and service industries, and then agriculture, 1 million, and then specialty trade contractors, 16.5 million. A lot of people just have in their mind that a small business is like maybe one person or a mom and pops, but really, as you can see here, the size standards really do vary according to the SBA. So how do we serve? Well, our primary offerings are provided through guidance of no-cost business counseling, and then trainings like this one. And then we have resources. And as you can see on the screen, some of these tools we use them to assist developing a comprehensive business plan and financial projections, providing industry market research reports, strategic planning, new business compliance checklist, and a 360-degree view and development of a business. So all these tools are wonderful to use for all of those various reasons. Our AZSBDC state network has really filled our toolboxes with some really great resources to share with our clients. So one of our valuable partners is the Arizona Commerce Authority. The online Arizona Small Business Boot Camp that they provide offers a no-cost support to Arizona State small business community. Here is a future training in June called 10 Legal Mistakes to Avoid Destroying Your Business. Oh my goodness. I thought it looked really interesting. I'm probably going to sit in on that. They really bring in some really great speakers throughout the state. So if you're interested in attending, just go to the website that's listed on this slide to register for that. The classes are free to you and very informative. So all the boot camp webinars are recorded as well and can be viewed at any time. So here are some of the topics we're going to discuss today. The importance of bookkeeping, responsibility as a business owner, options for bookkeeping, and bookkeeping task timeline. So I want to make this session interactive. So if you can drop a 1, I'm going to open up my comment box here, the chat. If you can drop a 1 in the chat box, if you started a business within the last year, 12 months or less. Drop a 2 if you've been in business for over a year. And then drop a 3 if you have a business idea, but you haven't started yet. Okay, I see 1s. 2, thank you. Great, 2. So some of the 2s, you're going to see this and you might go, okay, I know a lot of this stuff, but you might hear some stuff that might be beneficial. Okay, great. Thank you for responding. So let's see. I want to tell you why bookkeeping is so important. Hundreds of new businesses start every year. Many businesses do not understand the benefits of timely bookkeeping or the requirements. The basic purpose of bookkeeping is to accumulate the information on your business income and expenses in a manner that is useful to you, the business owner. So we're going to use the comment box again real quick. We're not going to do this a whole lot, but just let's talk about who are the outside users of your financial business information. Who would be interested in your financials? Go ahead and type in what you think. The IRS, yes. Funding sources, okay, lenders, banks, right? Investors, auditors, yes. Your CPA, yes. Okay, good. Yeah. What about vendors and suppliers? You know, if you're seeking credit from them, sometimes they want to see your financials. How about business incubators and angel investors? So all these people are interested in your financial information, but believe it or not, the most important user of this information is you, the business owner. It's important for both legal and financial management purposes. So by keeping accurate records in a timely manner allows you to get a snapshot of your business financial health in the form of financial statements, such as your cash flow, your income statements, your balance sheets, profit and loss, and more. These financial statements, they tell the health of your business. Like, is it taking a loss? Are you breaking even? Or are you making a profit? Those are really important things you need to know to make good decisions for your business. So did you know that according to an article posted by SCORE, it was written in June of 2020 by Preferred CFO, states that over 82% of startups fail due to poor cash flow management. Now, cash flow management is super important, but if you stay on top of your bookkeeping task, you're going to have a better chance to succeed. So the purpose of this class is not to turn you all into bookkeepers or accountants or to teach you how to do the bookkeeping. Our goal today is to show you how financial information helps you manage your business better and your responsibilities as a business owner, in making decisions. It's really going to help with that and to increase your chances of becoming profitable. Okay, IRS. Everybody loves the IRS, but let's find out what the IRS has to say about record keeping. The IRS website has a page dedicated to record keeping requirements, which I highly recommend you take a look at. It's really not a bad read. It's actually pretty simple to understand the topics and what it's saying, like why should I keep records and what kind of records should I keep and how long should I keep those records, and different records require a different amount of time to keep, like employment tax records, you need to keep those up to 4 years. So this is really a great website. This page is really good to go and look at because it does show the federal government requires that you maintain records to support the dollar amounts that you report on your tax returns. It's that simple. So it is a requirement because we do have to file taxes, right? So banks, lenders, insurance companies, to name a few, require that you keep those records as well. So very important. This website also has dates of how long you should keep the records. So if you ever have any questions, this is a great place to go and find that out. Let's talk about after the fact bookkeeping. So I want to tell you a quick story about a client of mine when I had my own bookkeeping practice. I had a client. She had a retail store in a small little town, but she was positioned in a really great place to where she had a lot of customers every month. My client gave me an egg box every month, just like the one you see here. And it was full of cash register tapes, invoices, payroll stubs, bank statements, credit card statements, deposit slips, and more, all thrown together. Just as she went, she put it in there, which I was grateful for, but what a mess. It took me about 7 to 8 hours every month on this account from start to finish, just sorting and trying to make sense of certain things. But my client knew that she had an after the fact bookkeeping service that would sort it all, code it all, and put it in the right accounts, reconcile her bank statements, prepare her monthly sales tax reports, her quarterly payroll reports, and produce financial statements every month so that she was in good shape. I know small business owners that have the same box, but they wait until the end of the year before they sort or do any type of bookkeeping. I want you to type in the chat box just one more time, yes or no in the comment box if you think that they're going to be able to produce accurate financials at the end of the year by keeping everything in the box. Let me see what you got. Right. Nope. And no, not at all. Right. Exactly. So you guys know that's not going to happen. So, and the reason why the answer is no is, let's say you as the owner take a $500 owner's draw out, and then you realize I need $100 for petty cash. It's going to be easier to pull out that $100 out of the $500 you just took, right? And at the end of the month or year, if it's not noted on your bank statement or receipt that you used 100 of that for petty cash, what's going to happen? You're going to end up paying taxes on that as an owner's draw rather than offsetting your taxes with accurate expenses. So that's just one item that a lot of people miss at the end of the year and they pay taxes on. So thank you for all your answers. I've been told by business owners that they round up or they round down to give to their tax preparers. And I just want to share with you, audits happen. So not a good business practice to do a lot of rounding. Anywho, so that was after the fact bookkeeping. It's a wonderful service for those that may want that option. So let's go ahead and start talking about some of those options that you have. Because this is a requirement that you stay up on your bookkeeping, well, for the year end, it's going to be really important, but keeping different items for a certain amount of time. So some of your bookkeeping options are going to be to hire an in-house bookkeeper, let's say. But I want to caution you. So this is just a caution. There's a lot of wonderful in-house bookkeepers you can hire. I've been one myself, but I have seen as a business counselor, business hire family members or individuals that have no accounting education or experience, which can lead to huge mistakes on your financials, resulting in tax problems, cash flow issues, embezzlement, and more. I've seen it more than I want to share, to be quite honest. So I suggest that when you're hiring a bookkeeper that's an in-house bookkeeper, that you look for a candidate that has a certificate or a degree in accounting or or in an accounting software, like maybe they're QuickBooks certified, so they know their way around the software. And experience is going to be really important as well. But good references are going to be key to their character. So you want to make sure that you have those. It's going to be important for whoever takes care of your finances, right? So let's talk about a second option. So a second option is to hire an after-the-fact bookkeeper. We talked about that. This allows the business owner to throw everything into the box and manage their business and cash themselves during the month. But you want someone to record the details of your expenses, income, and prepare any monthly or quarterly returns that are needed. So we suggest that clients start to look for a bookkeeping service. Preferably start at your local Chamber of Commerce website. And the reason why I say that is you can find a lot of services on their website under members. And we find that the chamber members usually have strong interest in building their community's success. Starting there is a great way to find a reputable bookkeeper. And we can always, contacting the SBDC, working with us, we can give you referrals, but I love to partner with the chamber because those businesses, like I said, really are invested in their community. So some business owners prefer to do their own bookkeeping, okay? And that is totally fine too. There are a lot of softwares, as you can see. I mean, wow, a lot of different softwares like QuickBooks, Waves, Oracle, Zoho, wow, right? All kinds of software. And Excel spreadsheets are another form of keeping track. It's like a ledger, right? The old-fashioned ledgers. That's actually what I learned how to do my accounting on, was on the ledgers. So as you can see, there's a lot of bookkeeping software options out there, but I do have some recommendations. First of all, I would ask your tax accountant, what bookkeeping software do they use or that they're familiar with? And I just want to share, a lot of bookkeepers and accountants use QuickBooks. They have a certification course for them, and so it just makes it a little bit easier. It's a little more universal. In the last few years, bookkeeping software now has the option to link right up to your business checking accounts. And the software will assist you in coding the transactions, which is very helpful. So like if it's fuel purchase, it'll code it and put it right towards fuel or travel, however you have it set up. You also want to think about, how steep is the learning curve? Do I need to take classes to learn what I'm doing with the software? Over the years, I've found that business owners do not understand accounting always, or underuse the software, so mistakes are often made. If you choose to do your own books, you can avoid making costly mistakes by taking some classes. They're really inexpensive. You're looking at $100 or less for classes if you really want to understand how to use the platforms more efficiently. Also, keep in mind that you're going to want to ask questions like, can this software be customized to meet my business needs? How secure is this software, right? Especially if it's linking up to my checking account. So I want to just say, and I used to be QuickBooks certified. I'm not anymore, and I'm not trying to plug them, but I am impressed with the length of time they've been in business, and they really invest a lot of money into their cybersecurity piece. You don't often hear, and where's the wood? I'll knock on my head, that they get hacked. Why? Because QuickBooks, they really really invest in that cybersecurity piece, and they do market it that way, So anyways, I'm not trying to, I have all kinds on the screen, so I'm not trying to just promote them, but they've been around for a while, right? So longevity is going to be important. And then you'll want to ask, will this software accommodate growth? Are there tutorials built into the software? Are they available? And these are just some of the things to think about before you purchase software, because sometimes it can be very costly. Okay. Next slide. So let's talk about using a bookkeeper or an accountant. This provides a list of services that's shown on the screen of what they provide. So many business owners are busy working in their business and find that hiring this service outside saves money and time, and it provides a peace of mind. So bookkeeping services charges can range between $50 to $500 a month on an average, depending on your business needs. Now, reviewing this list shown, they provide, let's say, for an example, where I have seasonal businesses at the bottom, or seasonal services. I had a client that had a seasonal business, but he didn't have a program to do his invoicing. So I used to handle all his accounts receivables about several months out of the year. So bookkeeping services really can customize what they do for you based on your needs. So now we're going to start getting into the task of keeping track of your information. So let's go to daily task. We're going to go over what the business owners are responsible for, rather they're doing their own bookkeeping or hiring it out. So these tasks are vital to managing your cash flow, as well as preventing an account takeover. It's true. I have a client that in 2020, she discovered that she had a weird amount come out of her checking account. It was like $1.15 from some unknown source. And she was just like, oh, that's weird. Maybe it's some little debit fee or something weird. And then she noticed a large amount of money. I'm talking over $10,000 was missing out of her business checking account. Now, her account was not just compromised, but the bank called it a takeover by an unknown person. So because she checks her bank account balances every day, she was able to contact the bank the same day the money was missing from her account, and her account was restored within that week. You can imagine that if you're not checking your account and time passes, it's going to make it that much harder to get restoration in a quick and timely manner. It's a big deal. So daily task. Check your cash on hand, check your bank balance, sales and cash receipts, and all monies paid by cash or check. Now, see this poster on here? It says wanted Phyllis the Fisher. Well, he is a cyber thief, and cybersecurity is extremely important to you and your small business. Homeland Security and the Federal Trade Commission offer a free publication, and they have some websites called Cybersecurity for Small Business. It's important that you and your staff learn the possibilities of what can happen and how to mitigate problems as soon as they happen. So my client I mentioned, she called her bank the same day, and the bank was all over it to investigate the situation. Every bank is different. You are at the mercy of the bank, and if you do not do your due diligence, a cyber takeover happens to your account, you could be in big trouble financially for an unknown amount of time. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, but unfortunately, this is prevalent in the world we live in right now. So weekly task. Some of the weekly tasks are payroll taxes and reports, document and filing receipts, keeping everything organized in filing systems is going to be really easy to go back and find when you need the items quickly. So I myself have learned the hard way many years ago by creating a stack of paperwork, or that egg box, right, on my desk, and then needing a specific item like a copy of a paid invoice, and it literally taking me an hour to find it. So I like to say it should be a daily task for people. Some people that's too much, but at least at the end of the week, Go through, sort, and file, and start your new week off with everything being put up so that the things are going to be easy to find and potentially does not get lost. And then we're going to go ahead and continue on weekly tasks. So prepare and sending out invoices is going to be really important. So be sure to include payment terms on your invoices and consider offering early payment incentives to get paid on time. You don't have to, but this is really important to get paid on time because that's how you're going to go about paying your vendors and your bills, right? And so it just depends on your clients, but if you find that your clients are more slow pay, you might want to consider that. Another thing is you're going to pay your vendors on time and sign the checks. Now, why would I say sign the checks? That might be a little too old school because we do pay a lot of things electronic, but if you have checks cut, you are going to want to make sure that you take the time to sit down and sign the checks. I had a client that would have me do all his accounts payables for him. He was one owner operator contractor, but he didn't want to take the time to stop what he was doing and sign his checks. And so all his vendors' checks would just be sitting on my desk. And so just be mindful of that. And let's talk about reviewing projected cash flow. So create a statement showing your current cash position, expected cash receipts, and expected cash statements for the upcoming week. It'll really set you up for success if you know this ahead of time. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our monthly task. Balancing your checkbook and doing a bank account reconciliation is going to be really important. That will also aid in finding if there's some off numbers that you're like, hold it, something's not right. Balancing your petty cash, reviewing your sales tax reporting and making that payment. Arizona Department of Revenue, I highly encourage you pay that on time because they have double fines. It's a double penalty and it's not nice. And they can arbitrarily pull into your checking account. So you know how you're signed up online to do the sales tax reports? Well, your checking account information is in there because when you set it up, you put that information in there online. And I have clients that they have arbitrarily taken out what they think the sales tax should have been. And it took a client up to 5 months to get that money back from Arizona Department of Revenue. I'm not trying to scare you guys. I'm just trying to share some of the things that could happen, right? And so it's going to be really important that you do your stuff timely. So let's talk about reviewing past due receivables. Sending a reminder to your customers is important because collecting receivables is how you're going to pay your bills. Analyzing, your inventory status, reordering products, identifying others that are moving slowly, or some that may need to be marked down or discontinued is going to be important. How about processing payroll? That's you're either going to have a service for that or you're going to do it yourself. And then reviewing actual profit and loss versus budget. And if you don't have a budget prepared to compare those two, I recommend that, sign up for services. Let us take a look at that. We'd be happy to work with you and help you with that, creating a budget and let's say you have a CPA. Work with your CPA on that if you'd feel more comfortable to do that, or a bookkeeper, accountant, but score mentor. But that is something that we can help with. So very important for new businesses and existing businesses, all of this.
Lisa, would you be willing to just briefly compare what a CPA does versus a bookkeeper? If you're not going to already do that, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. So a bookkeeper is not a certified public accountant. They didn't go to school to take it to the next step to where they can do your tax returns. They, do deep dive financial analysis. Bookkeepers mainly do the day-to-day tasks or the after the fact, taking all of your income, all of your expenses, entering them and coding them and entering them into a system to create financial reports, and also doing like your sales tax reports, your payroll tax reports, and then some of those seasonal things like maybe doing your accounts receivables and stuff. The CPAs don't normally do all of that. They hire bookkeepers to do all the legwork. And then the CPAs, they look at it from a higher view, a higher level, and they can help with projections and stuff. And Sue, maybe you want to embellish a little bit more on a CPA if you'd like.
Well, I think what we as the SBDC recommend highly is that that you do get a CPA. We do give referrals in packs of 3, so we highly recommend from the tax perspective. Lisa's done such a great job of saying, you don't want to know after the fact that you've got on the wrong side of the IRS or the Department of Revenue in Arizona. So
Yeah. So, but the thing is, a lot of their, CPAs, I'm finding that, they do offer the bookkeeping services, but sometimes, if they don't have, let's say they're maxed out on clients, having a bookkeeping service, meeting with the CPA so they can review your financials, making sure everything is in place, it's going to be really good and healthy for your business. So highly recommend that. Let's go ahead and talk about quarterly tasks. So every quarter, if you have payroll, you'll need to complete quarterly payroll reports. And what does that look like? Your 941, your 940, so you FUTA, you're going to have your Arizona Department of Revenue withholding, right? You're going to have your workers' comp report. So it's going to be a handful of reports that are due every quarter if you have payroll. I've worked with some realtors who are small business owners, they're independent agents, and they didn't realize they could pay estimate taxes every quarter to lower their tax burden at the end of the year. So it's something that you want to think about as a small business owner. Now let's go ahead and jump into mid-year taxes or task. 6 months into the year, it's good to review your financials with a CPA. Bottom line, it's wonderful. They can, look at those financials, and they're going to look at your income and expenses. They're going to make sure things are in the right place. They're going to look for errors, and they're going to help you strategically plan on, or help you strategically look at what you should do to maybe become more profitable, give you advice on purchasing equipment, when to buy that, what your deadlines are. Maybe you're looking for a loan. They're going to be able to just give you some advice on how much money you would be able to invest in that. Very helpful. It's also a good time to share and compare your gross revenue with your insurance company for your general liability policy. And let me tell you why. So when you fill out your insurance application for the year, they have a question on that application that asks you this: what is your anticipated gross revenue for the year? That question is a big part of determining your monthly premiums. So if you put in a high hopeful number in that box, your monthly payments are going to be higher. And let's say at the end of the year, you didn't earn the gross revenue you had hoped for. And so now you've overpaid on your general insurance liability, general liability insurance policy. And most of the time, you're not going to get a refund for overpaying. So it really is best practice to look at last year's revenue as a baseline, then mid-year, contact your insurance company to share where your numbers are at so that they can adjust your premiums from there. True story, when I had a general contracting business, I had put in a low amount because we had just started. And then that year, midway, we gained a couple big contracts. And so by the end of the year, I got a letter from the insurance company with a little application. What do you expect for this future, coming year? What did you do last year? And I'm just like answering questions. And then they're like, oh, so what it is when you receive that application every year, it's an audit as well. And so when you're answering those questions, I didn't know I was being audited, which I wasn't going to lie anyways, but I ended up with a $26,000 invoice due in 30 days because we underpaid the insurance. So mid-year task, CPA, an insurance company. Highly recommend. Any questions so far? I know it's a lot, but I think it's really important to know these are your responsibilities, right? So let's talk about annual task, and then we're going to go into bookkeeping tips and wrap this up. So annual task, you're going to want to review past due receivables because you have a decision to make. Do I send them to collections? And if you do, they charge anywhere between 15 to 50% of the invoice. Or you have the option to write it off or keep it open, right? And keep trying to collect. You're going to want to review your inventory, calculate the value of items not sold, then use the unsellable inventory as a deduction for your year-end taxes. That may be an option. You would want to talk to your CPA about that. And then fill out the IRS forms, your W-2s, your 1099s for your independent contractors, your employees. Review and approve your year-end financial reports and tax returns. So a lot of times we're dropping off our stuff to the CPAs and tax preparers, and they're calling us and saying, your returns are done. It costs this much, come in, sign, blah, blah, blah. But are you taking time to review them? Are you coming in, having another meeting? Hey, I want to look at those first. Because I worked for a CPA for several years before I opened up my own practice. And we had people just picking them up and going. They were signing, paying, process them, and they were not reviewing their tax returns. So it's just something I highly recommend. And so we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up with some bookkeeping tips. Keep personal and business finances separate. I highly recommend that. As a sole proprietor, independent contractor, small business, I know you're busy and it's really easy just to pull money from here and there and wherever, but it's going to be really important to keep those separate because there's going to be taxes that will be called upon at the end of the year. You want to make sure things are clean. Automate as much as possible because it saves time. I promise. Keep thorough records and file them properly. When you're writing a check, put something in the notes. It helps. Set reminders for deadlines so that you can keep on top of things that are important. So everything that are in that I had shared with you in this slide deck, as a business owner, I've always put those items on my calendars of what to do, little tickers, task lists, etc., so that I never forgot. And then let's see, set reminders, leave an audit trail. Take a look at the IRS record keeping page. It's not a long read, I promise, but I think you'll find it really informative and eye-opening on what you need to keep. And then number 6, track your business expenses. It's so important because the money spins fast, so track often. Number 7, let's keep your books at the top of your priorities. You will never regret this and will only benefit in the long run. And number 8, exit strategy. I want you to keep in mind that there may come a time when you want to sell your business. If your financials are not in order, you will have a hard time convincing a lender or a potential buyer that your business is wink, wink, profitable. You know, a lot of cash-based businesses like restaurants, food industries, things of that nature. There's a lot of cash, you know, moving back and forth. Trust me when I tell you, your winks are not going to convince anybody that your business is profitable. So anyways, I will end there and just say, do you have any questions? I'm happy to answer any questions. Use the chat to ask. I will just open it up real quick. Well, I'm glad to hear that it was helpful. Good. Let's see.
Lisa, did you catch the question about, I was told that it may be good to have an operating account, tax account, reserve savings account, and I need to, and if I need to be a marketing account to help with organizing. Can you confirm?
When you say account, do you mean bank account? What does that mean?
Ruth, what do you mean? Do you mean operating account? What do you mean by operating account?
Checking account. Yeah.
Got
So I have found that best practices is operating account if you have payroll, a payroll account. And I would, do you have payroll, Ruth? Because if you don't, okay, no. So yeah, so if you wanted to do a separate tax account, you definitely could if you feel more comfortable with that. And then a savings account is always good to have. You know, marketing account, I don't know, it sounds like too many accounts, right? But if you don't mind reconciling that, it's totally up to you. Whatever keeps you organized.
There's another question here. I try to bookkeep for my husband, who is also a self-employed artist. I do have an egg box and I have a regular job. We cannot afford a bookkeeper, which actually is another question. It's like, does one find and evaluate a bookkeeper, especially if finances are tight?
Yeah. So, like I said, they can customize what they do for you. So even at a minimum, if you, not sure what that industry of what your husband is in, but they usually charge per transactions, like, you know, how many transactions you had on your bank statement. So what I would do in your situation, if you could not afford a bookkeeper, I would find one of the accounting programs that links right up to your checking account and codes everything. It would make your job a lot easier. And I'm telling you, it's like, the monthly payments for those, some of those are free. And then some are around, they're under $20 a month, some around $25 a month. And that is affordable to help you keep things coded and constantly, you know, putting things into the categories they need to be in for expenses and income to create those financials.
Lisa, do you have any guidance for how deep into the weeds somebody should get into bookkeeping? I've had some folks say, do I need to go to QuickBooks training? I mean, how much of this information do you need to know as a founder or running your business, in your opinion?
I think just knowing what's due every month, every day, you know, the task line, right? As a business owner, like I didn't teach you how to do the bookkeeping, right? So all those tasks are going to be important for you to know. You're responsible, bottom line, for all the deadlines, right? And the task. So it just depends. How much task are you willing to commit to, right? The time that's needed for that day, week, month, year. And if you find that you're falling short on committing time towards that, then I recommend that you get help.
Lisa, just kind of circling back around to how you or other business counselors in the SBDC can assist clients in this particular area, what you think works and how they might think about working with a business counselor?
Yeah. So, you know, over the past 11 years, I've worked with a lot of business owners that have really benefited from, you know, even us taking a second look at their financial statements. I had a client who had been in business for over 10 years. Actually, it wasn't my client. I was co-counseling, just to give you an example. And he had a family member who had been doing his books for years. She took some classes, family member doing the books. Well, I found almost $500,000 in errors in entries just at a glance. I looked at the financials and I was like, why is that here and there? And so by having a business counselor, we're able to take a full 360-degree look at your business model, your financials, whatever, and you're able to benefit from our experience, our education on what we see and have to say, right? And we have some really great tools too as well. I don't know if that answered your question, sorry, but
I just put in the chat, if you want to request business counseling services, you can go to azsbdc.net, and there is a section that says request counseling. We actually serve Pima and Santa Cruz, and you might be in a different area, and there would be a center that could provide you with business counseling in your area. So just go to that website and figure out, put in your zip code, and it'll tell you who to reach out to.
yeah. Well, wonderful. Let's see. So it looks like that's kind of a wrap. I do want to just share. Yeah, go ahead. Sue.
Oh, I was just going to say, we are going to send out, some of you said that came in late, we are going to share the PowerPoints and for the attendees and the recording.
Awesome. Yes. So for SBDC services, you're going to want to go to the azsbdc.net website. This is what you're going to see right here. You're going to click on request counseling and enter that in as fill it out as best as possible. Your zip code will determine which center will contact you. And then to find more trainings like this, go ahead and click event schedule. We offer a lot of trainings statewide. It's just a really great resource. And I just want to say thank you for attending the Lunch and Learn today.
Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day and week, and we'll be in contact. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, so much. Great job.
Of course. Thank you.